on to her eternal reward. I'm sure we'll remember the family in our prayers. And at this time, it's a pleasure to call upon Father William Smith of St. Anthony of Padua Church in Port Ready for the invocation. Father, thank you. Thanks for being here.
God of all governance, we gather in your name. May your spirit enlighten us and the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Give them light and wisdom to know your will and carry it out in their deliberations tonight. You desire justice for all people. Enable all our elected officials to uphold the rights of all. Do not allow their decisions to be guided by fear or favor. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Call upon Tom Cross, your former freeholder and personnel director, for the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10 has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Margaret Pemberton, clerk to the board. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Gelina?
Here.
Freeholder Fernicola?
Here.
Freeholder Polos?
Here.
Freeholder Rufano?
Here.
Freeholder Rios?
Here.
Freeholder Valenti?
Here.
Freeholder Director Craybill?
Present. Reports of freeholders. The Deputy Director of the Board, Stephen J. Pete Delina from Woodbridge Township.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. As I noted in our last meeting, tickets for our 16th annual indoor children's musical Cinderella at our theater in Roseville Park were selling quickly. I am pleased to report that the even edition of another performance of a show are now sold out also. So I'm sure there will be a lot of people attending and having a great time. I would like to report on our park projects. Phase 1, Phase 2 of the reconstruction of Donaldson Park has been completed. We are proceeding now with reseeding, fertilizing all the new fields, and will be usable next spring. The new contractor for Phase 3 is moving ahead in good pace, and it looks like that part of the project will be completed by middle of November. This is welcome news, and the park will further be refurbished for next year. We are beginning construction of our bocce ball courts complex at Thompson Park. The complex will also include 4 courts with lights for even playing, a gazebo, and other amenities. This project was requested by the Township of Monroe on the behalf of many residents and the adult communities. We are quite certain that the new facility will become a very popular attraction at Thompson Park. That's my report, sir.
Freeholder Camille Fernicola from the Township of Piscataway.
No report. Thank you, Freeholder.
Freeholder H. James Polis from Highland Park.
Thank you, Director. Just a couple of items. On October 27th in Metuchen, we're going to be doing a slowdown in our town campaign at 10 a.m. If any members of the board would like to attend, please let me know. This morning, with Jack Arbour, our purchasing agent, John Pulamino, our county administrator, Khalid Anjem, who is our IT director, Maria Sarimas, our director of shared services, and I attended a meeting in Trenton with about 8 officials from Trenton, the Office of Information Technology and the Division of Local Government Services. It was a lengthy meeting. I guess it ran about 3 hours or so, right, John? But it was a highly productive meeting insofar as we have gotten agreement from the state to help Middlesex County develop the first model portal in the state, and the Office of Information Technology and the Division of Local Government Services have committed funding to assist the county in this rather unique endeavor, with the hope that it will become a model for counties around the state. And this will provide access to all of our schools, all of our municipalities, and of course the county to communicate with each other about shared services, cooperative purchasing, new initiatives, and it's a real exciting opportunity to have this type of a database and information gathering opportunity, particularly given the fact that the state has shown interest and is willing to foot the bill for its creation because they think that it's so unique that it would serve well to create a model here that could be used throughout New Jersey. So I want to thank everyone who attended today. I want to thank Maria Sarimas for her leadership in helping pull that together as our shared service initiative. You should know that the Department of Transportation Representative Steve Fattanti and I attended a New Jersey Council on Special Transportation event a couple of weeks ago at the Garden State Arts Center. I was asked to attend because I have been a strong proponent and supporter for changes in the state funding mechanism, which utilizes casino revenues to support transportation initiatives in counties. We have been out lobbying very hard to ask the state to increase the amount of money that's being allocated and the percentage of state casino revenues that come to counties to provide transportation to elderly and disabled in our county. Needless to say, with rising fuel costs, which have affected us in terms of tens of thousands of dollars, if not actually hundreds of thousands of dollars this year is a more accurate description. We need additional funding in order to maintain the current transportation opportunities that we provide to our residents who require them to get to work, to get to school, to get to houses of worship, to doctors and so forth. So we are lobbying hard. I'm pleased to tell you that the effort, which is called Save Our Ride, has really gained quite a bit of steam. We understand that there is now legislative movement to support the increase in funding, and it didn't come in any small part as a result of the efforts not only of this county, who took a leadership role, but the New Jersey Council on Special Transportation, which has been a strong proponent of additional funding for our transportation. So I'm pleased to tell you that we're making progress. We're not there yet, but we're making progress. And that's it tonight, Director. Thank you.
Freeholder Christopher D. Rifano from the Borough of South River.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I'd like to ask our Fire Marshal Michael Gallagher, please, to come up. We have a presentation on the status of our countywide radio system. And before Mike says what he's going to say about that status, I just want to mention a few things. And one of the things that we realized in law and public safety is that communication is vital. And that was emphasized in September 11th. And so what we've done as a county is aggressively worked these past several years to improve our communication capability all throughout the county. What we were looking to do is obviously improve coverage. We were looking to have interoperability whereby police, EMS, and fire can all communicate at the same time on the same frequency. And we're also looking to have our county-wide system, which is very robust, even make it even better, and available to municipalities that maybe want to take the option of joining our system, thereby saving money for the local municipality. So I've asked Mike to put together a PowerPoint presentation to show the board what we've done, what we're going to be doing in the future, just to give you, like I said, a status of where we stand. So Mike, you're on.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholders, in 1994, the system 800 system, we began construction and finished up in late 1995. It is an 800 megahertz trunk system provided by Ericsson, now known as MACOM. The system was designed to serve all agencies and departments within the county government. The radio system installed was an EDAX, or an Enhanced Digital Access Communication System. The 4-site trunk radio system would transmit and receive sites in Woodbridge, Monroe, East Brunswick, and New Brunswick. There were approximately 1,040 users or radios on the system. In 1999, Y2K was an issue that everyone encountered. We worked with our radio vendor. We installed upgrades at all the sites and dispatch consoles. A test was run on December 20th, 1999 to make sure the system would work. Upon arrival of the year 2000, the system turned to 12 a.m. and no reported problems. In 2004, Middlesex County had determined that improvements and upgrades were needed to better serve the communication needs of the county government and provide for enhanced interoperability with the 25 local municipality public safety agencies in the county. The county hired Consolidated Consultant Management Service, or CCMS, to perform a needs analysis to upgrade the current system. In 2005, as the analysis was being prepared, the county, through Homeland Security grant, purchased a software upgrade called ProVoice. This software allowed all users enhanced digital secured communications and better voice quality. The county also purchased base station radio units for all municipalities' Office of Emergency Management operating centers. This would ensure that a municipality could be in radio contact with the county at all times. In 2006 and 2007, the analysis was completed, and based on the recommendations of that analysis, the county would expand our radio system. The expansion called for the upgrade of our 4 existing sites, new hardware, software, and new antennas. It also called for the install of 3 new sites around the county, giving us a 7-site, 93% in-building coverage for a radio system, compared to a 78% in 1994. It will also prepare the system for any future expansions or migrations. In 2008, the county hired VCOM Consultant to perform a countywide radio spectrum study to see what frequencies are being used and to determine the best way for the county to expand the radio communication system to encompass police, fire, EMS, and OEM agencies within the county. Based on that radio spectrum study, Middlesex County is in the process of submitting application for additional frequencies to the FCC. These frequencies will be added for the expansion to include all the public safety users within the county. In 2008, we also purchased through Homeland Security grant what's called a soft patch connection. This connection will provide real-time communication between various disparate communication systems and the County 800 system. Simply meaning we will be able to connect to any municipality radio system no matter the frequency, make, or model for true interoperability in the time of needs. And for 2009, we look forward to continued support with the Board of Chosen Freeholders in maintaining our radio system. We will utilize the frequencies we are applying for to expand our radio system and to deliver radio interoperability to the public safety agencies within the county as well as state and federal agencies. And with that, I'd like to thank Jack Garber, Bob Benny, Al Demko, Rory Zach, Khalid Enjam, and their departments for all their help in making the expansion of the radio system go smoothly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I want to thank you. I mean, you worked very hard with your staff on improving our radio system. There's no doubt in my mind that today we are much farther ahead than we were a number of years ago, and it's because of your hard work and Al Demko and everybody else that's been involved in upgrading our radio system, and we have more work to do, and we're going to continue to do that.
Thank you,
Mike. I have one last thing to report on, Field Director. Our Fire Academy has been putting out a newsletter in which we have various articles about training and new courses that we offer. And the problem with the newsletter was it was expensive to produce and also to distribute. So what we've done now is we now email it. We don't mail it. We email it. We collect the email numbers of all the fire chiefs and students that have gone through our academy, and with a push of a button, they get our email with our newsletter. And so I think it's taking advantage of technology and saving money for the taxpayers in Middlesex County. That's all I have.
Freeholder Ronald G. Rios from the borough of Carteret.
Thank you, Freeholder
I might
Director.
say he's the first freeholder from Carteret in the history of Carteret.
Thank you. As far as the educational part of my report on the college, we're in full gear, and we introduced 3 new certificate programs that have been added for this year: baking and pastry arts, addiction studies, and veterinary assistant program. 42 new technology-enhanced classrooms have been constructed over the summer months, bringing the total of technology classrooms to a total of 139. Our Democracy House students continue to conduct community service projects throughout the county. In the month of September, the college has received $20,000 from the Bonner Foundation and $180,000 from the Corporation for National Community Service to support the work of the Democracy House. As far as the vocational part of my report, on October 15th, we will be kicking off our new program for teen driving initiative. It will be kicked off at the East Brunswick campus. I'm excited about this, and we've had different programs as far as teenage driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol or designated driver safety, and this time we're doing a different program, and it's going to be called Drive Safe for the Ride of Your Life. And that will, again, that will be instituted on October 15th at the East Brunswick campus. As far as my report for Raton Bay Mental Health Services, we have 100 new clients over the last month, and we're in the process of doing some renovations in that building. As far as my health department report, New Jersey DEP Commissioner Lisa Jackson has signed an order of certification delegating responsibility for environmental inspection and enforcement in the following areas: air pollution, noise pollution, water pollution control, safe drinking water, solid waste control, hazardous material emergency response, and the pilot programs of pesticide control and school chemical management. Tonight, the board will consider the following agenda items: amending the operating budget to accept grant funding of $203,000, accepting $106,343 for rape prevention and education from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, and another grant application in the amount of $497,000. Our health department is aggressively pursuing any kind of grant funding that we can get. As far as our Rutgers Extension Services report, they conducted a food safety meeting at Farm in Cranberry and provided pesticide safety training and training on proper guidelines to prevent foodborne illness with local farm products. They taught 137 principals and assistants the basics of school integrated pest management with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. We taught 2 evening classes at the Earth Center in cooperation with the County College. It's part of our community outreach classes. And we won an award, Lisa Bovitz from the Earth Center on Eco Ventures program from the National Association of County Agricultural Agents. And on October 5th, the 6 Middlesex County 4-Hers will be featured on CW11 Morning Show as a result of their participation in the 4-H National Youth Science Day experiment. And after seeing the program initially, Good Morning America has expressed interest, and we're hoping that the program will be aired on their show, and continued progress in education and health. Thank you.
Freeholder Blanquita Bird Valenti from the city of New Brunswick, the county seat.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I have a little longer report today than I usually do, but it's important to announce that we did hold last Wednesday the Middlesex County Senior Health and Fitness Walk. It took place this year at Roosevelt Park. It was a tremendous success. 455 seniors registered for it and participated. The park was impeccable. It was so nice and clean, and it was sunny on a cool day, and everyone had a wonderful time. We want to thank a number of groups that really helped make this a success, not only our folks in our Department of Aging, all our staff, and of course Beck Chester, who was there since, I think, 20 minutes to 8 in the morning. But we've received from a number of senior centers a beautiful donation of gift baskets for the raffle that were given out to people who participated at no cost. And these towns, especially Middlesex, Monroe, Old Bridge, Piscataway, South River, South Brunswick, and Spotswood, were there, and they also arranged donations of bottled water for the event to Roseville Care Center. They supplied ice for the event, helping to keep the water in chilled containers. The Edison Emergency Squad members were present in the park to ensure safety for our walkers. Liberty Medical, they were able to bring us diabetic educational materials and the generous donation of various products for the goodie bags. All the seniors received the goodie bags, and all the seniors received one of these shirts that I have given to the freeholders, and they wore them, and it announced the Senior Health Fitness Walk, and in the back, Active Aging Week, excuse me, the year 2008. I'm sorry I messed up your shirt. That's quite right. Here we go. And I can go on and on, but for our own staff, the Middlesex County Public Health Department, a special thanks to the nurses of your department, Freeholder Rios, and they provided blood pressure screenings to the participants. Pathmark of North Brunswick, their pharmacy, provided glucose screenings with the help of the pharmacy students from Rutgers University. And also, we want to thank them for the donation of water bottles. St. Peter's University Hospital, who provided nurses and technicians for providing glucose screenings for our participant. And lastly, but certainly not least, Rutgers University Exercise Science Department, one of their professors and her students from exercise and aging class participated in the walk and did all the warm-up exercises. And I want to thank Freeholder Rios and Freeholder Crabeel for joining our group at Roosevelt Park. I also want to make another announcement that on October 23rd at 10 a.m. from 10 to 12, the Piscataway Senior Center Office on Aging in Piscataway will be bringing free seminars conducted by the New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services regarding the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, which is called SHIP. And this is about Medicare changes, enrollment period, etc. There's two other dates, November 21st, North Brunswick Senior Center. This will also take place. And lastly, but not least, December the 8th at the Carteret Office on Aging on Cook Avenue, we will have also the same program repeated. I want to announce that there will be a march against domestic violence in New Brunswick, October 25th, starting at 11 a.m. I plan to be there and participate, and this will end with a rally at Jersey Avenue and French Street. Women Aware is involved with this, besides the New Brunswick Domestic Violence Awareness Coalition. And it was very successful last year, and I'm sure it will be equally successful this year. I also attended on September 19th, Sacred Heart Church Hall on Troop Avenue. They had a Middlesex County advocacy team, and this is different groups were sharing information about programs and services that improve the lives of low-income area residents, and what has happened with the federal foreclosure legislation that will help New Jersey. And it was quite a representative group of folks there, and I attended with the department chair, Tom Sahlheimer, as well as Bridget Kennedy from our social services department. I wanted to inform the Board of Freeholders that our health board is going to submit a letter to the Department of New Jersey DOT to try and prevent the suicide of other people. It's been a dreadful thing happening at that Victory Bridge. I guess it's called the Victory Bridge between Perth Amboy and Sayreville. Even a mother and a child perished in one of those jumps. And I think that this is a very worthwhile thing for the state to take care of putting some kind of a railing and protection on that bridge so that more suicides will be prevented, at least at that point. This coming Saturday in Woodbridge, at the Woodbridge Community Center on Main Street, our veterans will hold a forum on health and human services. It starts at 10 a.m. There will be a number of speakers, and of course, Mayor McCormick will be there, as well as members of our own Veterans Advisory Committee of Middlesex County. We've been having these every year at different places, and it has been very successful, so please let veterans that you may know alert them that this is being held there next Saturday in the morning. today it's my pleasure to go back to the proclamation we had back last month, where we did a spotlight on people recovering from addiction services. And this was videotaped for September viewing. And this is a program, Spotlight on Middlesex County, which is normally produced by the MCIA. And I took the place of Freeholder Craybill, that normally is the host. And because of that, I was able to have a special program featuring Elliot White, the director of the Division of Addiction Services. And I thanked Elliot because he was there, and joining us was also David Roden, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the New Hope Foundation Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the treatment of addictions. And it was a very good program, I think it was, because it gave out a lot of information and support. And of course, September was the National Recovery Month Achievement Awards for Middlesex County. So tonight it will be my pleasure at the end of my report, which is coming very soon, I know you'll be very happy, to welcome to our midst Pamela Johnson, who's receiving an individual award representing Elijah's Promise. This will be presented by John Downs, the chairperson of Middlesex County Local Advisory Board Against Addiction, and also an agency award to Gloria Plaza of Cura, President and CEO, and Miguel A. Rivera, Cura Board Chairman. Cura is a Hispanic agency treating people with addictions, and I want to welcome them. And also joining me will be Elliot White, our Director of Middlesex County Division of Addiction Services, and Roger Keaton, Planner for the Middlesex County Division of Addiction Services. If you come forward. Go ahead, Elliot.
Thank you, Freeholder. This is an exciting evening for us because it's the culmination of a month-long recognition of National Recovery Month, an event that has been too long recognized by the public for the achievements that agencies and individuals make as they go through recovery. This is an inaugural award. We hope to be able to give this award to outstanding individuals and agencies from now on, commemorating the Recovery Month and their hard work that they put in during their recovery period. We had to make a little adjustment in the program because we found out that we had to change our order of presentation. So making the individual presentation will be Vicki Frazzalone from the Division of Treatment Services for the state.
As Elliot said, my name is Vicki Frazzalone, and I'm here from the Division of Addiction Services of the Department of Human Services. The recipient of tonight's Recovery Award was chosen through input from the Middlesex County Local Advisory Committee on Alcohol and Drug, the Area Addictions Treatment Providers, and Elliot's office, the Office of County Alcohol and Drug Director. Ms. Johnson completed treatment at UMD&J, and this year celebrates 15 years of recovery. She is a professional chef. She is a professional chef, a skill gained through her involvement and training at Elijah's Promise, and she's a positive and active member of our community. Ms. Johnson is a vocal advocate and support for those people who are suffering from addiction and those who have embarked upon their journey to recovery. We congratulate her on her own personal journey and acknowledge the hard work, the dedication, and all the effort that goes into acquiring and maintaining recovery every single day. Congratulations, Ms. Johnson.
Stories of how you got in.
Okay, my name is Pamela Johnson, and I am a recovering addict. I got clean back in '93 after falling on my tush a number of times. But I thank God because I had people who believed in me no matter what. I went to the team program with Ed Mann, and no matter how many times I kept falling and falling and falling, he just never gave up. I thank God for the addiction services program. I tell you, the last round, he must have sent me to detox about 8 times. And finally, he said, this time we're going to do a full circle. You're going to do the detox, rehab, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you don't go, well, the bed is not going to be available. And I decided that I would go, but he tricked me. Because I said to him, I said, well, if I go, can I take my bathing suit? Can I take my short shorts? Can I take lipstick, makeup, this, that? He said, oh, sure, and there's a pool. It was in New Hope, where the Marlboro place is at. And so I got there with my couple of 3 or 4 bags, and I went there, and I was happy and ready to go. And as soon as I got there, the lady sat me down, and she said, you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't have this, you can't have that, and don't look at the men. I said, well, I'm out of here. Well, I ended up staying the full 28 days, and my journey began then. I began to really live life on life terms and begin to get involved with the treatment programs, and it was a number of programs. So it was program after program after program. It didn't work at the first sight for me, but that's okay. The reality is that, you know, I thank God for the resources in New Brunswick, Narcotics Anonymous, and other programs that allowed me to be able to get to the place that I've got to. I was able to open up a restaurant right here on Patterson Street, and I got involved with Elijah's Promise. Thank God for Elijah's Promise. My boss, who's here tonight, Yvette, who has been a great support. And the road has not been a bed of roses for me. I just buried my mom last week, suffered many of losses in the process of recovery. But, you know, I know that I don't have to use no matter what. What I do know that there will be death. There will be times where you're going to go even to jail in recovery. You know, you're going to have a number of obstacles in the way, but, you know, you don't have to give up and you don't have to give in, you know, and I thank God for the support, the addiction and recovery groups, the people that advocate for these programs and put in the hard work, the time and resources and the money to help people like myself and others to move forward. So thank you for this award tonight. And I just hope that everyone just continue to do what you do to make a difference in somebody else's life. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki, and thank you, Pamela. Making the presentation for the agency award tonight is the chairman of the Local Advisory Committee on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, John Downs.
Thank you. I have to acknowledge this. Roger Keaton is sitting over there, and he said that we should really think about doing these awards for National Recovery Month. And this is the first agency that we are presenting this award to. It's Cura, it's a Spanish rehab, and they've been providing quality treatment for the Spanish-speaking community for 20 years. 35 years. And I wouldn't profess to go on and say all the things they do, but I'm sure that Gloria would be more than willing to come over and explain everything that the agency does. On behalf of the Middlesex County Lakota, we are pleased to present this award to Kura.
Muchas gracias. Thank you. Thank you to the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Thank you to the Lakota. Thank you to Mr. White. Thank you to Mr. Keaton. We have been in service for 35 years. We started about 35 years ago in a very small office. And we started because my colleague at that time and I worked in a behavioral health agency, and there was this homeless alcoholic that used to come in the winter to keep cool, to keep warm, and in the summer to keep cool. And that agency was not doing anything for this individual. As soon as he walked in the door, he would be thrown out of the building. So my colleague and I said, you know, we have to do something for this individual and for others that are in the street right now. And we started the agency, Kura. We were lucky enough to find a recovering individual who helped us put the proposal together some 36 years ago, because it took us about a year to get started. It is an honor for me to receive this award for Kura, the agency that I have loved so much for the last 35 years. We will continue to provide services to the Latino community as long as the support is there. I thank you. The board of directors thanks you. The staff thanks you. And those that we serve, thank you. Thank you very much.
Finally, I'd like to add our thanks to the Board of Children Freeholders, and in particular our liaison, Freeholder Valenti, for her support and that support of our Director of Human Services, Mr. Sotheimer. Again, this is a very pleasant experience for us, one that we have worked hard at pulling together, and we take great pride in the fact that we're able to make a difference whenever we can, and your support has been very, very, very instrumental in that regard. So thank you, Board. Thank you all for your patience tonight. Thank you.
As Freeholder Director and the one who chairs the Administration and Finance Committee, I have several things to report, but first an important statement regarding the national-led property redevelopment in Saraville. For the past several months, representatives from the county, Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency, known as SARA, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, National Ed, known as NL, and the developer O'Neill Properties have conducted comprehensive negotiations involving all aspects of the proposed redevelopment of the National Ed land property in Saraville in order that the parties could proceed to an initial closing under the terms of the reinstated and amended settlement agreement and release dated June 19, 2008. Under the terms of this agreement, you will recall the county is to be repaid $32 million of the loan obligation due from Sarah at an initial closing originally scheduled to occur August 1, 2008. During these months, the parties have successfully reached agreement on all aspects of the environmental remediation which will be performed on the property and the additional responsibilities of National Lead, Sarah, and the developer relating to this long-awaited cleanup. I want to take this opportunity to commend and thank DEP Commissioner Lisa Jackson and her staff for the efforts they have extended to this project in order to successfully conclude the necessary environmental agreements. Many times we're critical of the state of New Jersey and critical of the federal government, but certainly Lisa Jackson and her staff on the DEP are to be commended on what they have done for Middlesex County and Saraville on this matter. During this period, the parties have also finalized all of the other closing agreements and legal documents necessary to complete the initial closing, which are now being held in escrow pending final loan funding by the developer. A final closing date has been established for Friday, October 10th, 1 week from tomorrow, and it is hoped that the initial closing will occur on that date. However, as all of us are keenly aware, today we find ourselves in very difficult economic times and face extraordinary financial uncertainty. In fact, the county is currently unable to confirm that the developer is able to finance both the initial closing and the project. While the county remains hopeful that the initial closing will occur as scheduled, it is of the utmost importance that all steps necessary be taken to protect the county taxpayers. As a result, I, as Freeholder Director, have directed that the County Council serve formal notice upon Sarah that it must immediately commence all legal and financial steps necessary and to which it has committed to the county by written agreement to ensure that it will be prepared to pay the county by the end of this year the sum of $9 million towards the repayment of its loan obligation to the county. Sarah has previously authorized the sale of bond anticipation notes for the purpose of resolution dated March 13, 2008, which are to be guaranteed by the Borough of Saraville as previously authorized by Borough Ordinance Number 53-08, approved on March 31, 2008. While the county continues to cooperate with Sarah, National Ed, and the developer in an effort to accomplish an initial closing, it is essential that Sarah and the Borough of Saraville be prepared to honor their commitment to kindly make the $9 million payment due in 2008. And the public can be assured that if the initial closing does fail to occur, the county will take all steps necessary to ensure that this payment is made. I want to commend our county counsel, Tom Kelso. He's worked many, many hours on this. Certainly also want to thank Mr. Baker, who's the attorney for Sarah, and the Saraville Redevelopment Agency, Rennie Travisano, who's the chairman of that entity, and other officials in Saraville. I want to also mention that Assemblyman John Wisniewski, behind the scenes, did a lot of heavy lifting on trying to make this come about. It has come about because of the efforts of many people, and we commend them and thank them for one and all. This time I would ask that the County Counsel, Tom Kelso, read the letter which he sent to Mr. Travisano on this matter that I mentioned in my statement.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. As indicated, the letter is addressed to Chairperson Travisano of the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency. It is dated September 29. Dear Mr. Travisano, as you are aware, the reinstated and amended settlement agreement and release dated June 2008 provided for an initial closing date of August 1st, 2008. Although the agreement has not to date been terminated by any party and discussions continue to be ongoing to resolve various matters and proceed to a closing, the county is concerned that the initial payment due from the agency to the county in the amount of $32 million may potentially not be made prior to the end of calendar year 2008. Therefore, the purpose of this letter is to provide notice to the agency that in accordance with paragraph 5 of the 6th amended and restated agreement dated May 22, 2008, the agency shall immediately take all steps necessary to fund the $9 million in bond anticipation notes pursuant to the March 13, 2008 resolution of the agency as guaranteed by the ordinance of the Sayreville Borough Council dated March 31, 2008, such that the county can expect full payment of said $9 million prior to the end of the 2008 calendar year. Upon receipt of this letter, I would ask that you review with the agency's counsel and bond counsel all steps necessary to effect the issuance of said bond anticipation notes and advise within 5 business days hereof by return letter a schedule of actions to be taken by the agency and or the Borough Council in order to achieve said payment to the county. Upon receipt thereof, the county will review with its professionals, including bond counsel, said schedule in order to ensure the agency's ability to meet its obligations pursuant to the 6th amended and restated agreement. Finally, the county does hereby reserve all rights and remedies accorded to it pursuant to the terms of the 6th amended and restated agreement.
I want to also state that the county administrator, John Polomina, has been very much active on a daily basis on solving this problem. Does any freeholder have any question on this document? If not, then we will proceed. There are some other items. I want to note that Dr. Joanne LaPerla Morales has been elected to the Board of Directors of the ARC of Middlesex County, and that's certainly a plus for the county. I want to point out that since our last meeting, the Cerebral Palsy Association of Middlesex County at a golf outing sponsored by the Improvement Authority received a $15,000 check, and Roosevelt Care Center received a $5,000 check from the result of the golfers who participated in that event. I want to also commend Chris Palladino and the others of DEFCO because they are bringing Barnes & Noble to downtown location in New Brunswick, and that certainly is a plus for our county. I want to say that since our last meeting, the long-term facility of the Roosevelt Care Center, which we haven't decided what we're going to call that entity in Old Bridge yet, but pretty soon we'll have to decide that. But the ground was broken for that facility. Mayor Jim Phillips presided at that event. I want to also make mention that Bob Benny has sent out a letter involving energy conservation to many of our programs in the county. I want to commend our prosecutor and all law enforcement people because crime in Middlesex County was reduced 5% in the past year, and that certainly is a credit to all who have been involved in that. I want to also mention that Freeholder Polis and I and Freeholder Valenti attended a Rutgers University event where President Richard McCormick gave the introduction, but Senator Robert Menendez gave a presentation at it, and Commissioner Joe Doria also participated, and it was a very interesting morning. I'm sure that we would all agree to. I want to also make mention that the Woodbridge Metro Chamber of Commerce had the mayors together over in Woodbridge. I was privileged to be moderator at that entity. Mayor McCormick also participated in the event, and Freeholder Kim Polis was one of the speakers, and Rich Hills was one of the speakers. And there were two other speakers, one Valerie Montecalvo of Bayshore Recycling, and also Dennis Stoll of Middlesex Water Company. But it was an interesting morning that we participated in. I want to mention also that at the last meeting, I believe I made mention that Jack Garber, purchasing agent of the county, has been appointed to a position at NACO, but should also be noted that another key person in our county government has been appointed also to a key spot in the NACO entities, and of course I speak of Blanquita Valenti. So we commend Blanquita on being involved in the National Association of Counties. And also say that there's been some nice press coverage involving the Science Technology Center plan for historic Edison site, the Monroe Park, the site in Edison. As mentioned before, about the senior health and fitness walk in the county that some of us participated in. I want to also mention the fact that Peg Chester heads up that staff entity. It was an excellent morning. I believe we had almost 500 walkers, and I rode over from Milltown, but there were some who walked over from Milltown to participate. But it was certainly a great event, and Peg Chester has made a commitment that next year they're going to have 500 there instead of 400 and something. And the last thing I want to make mention is that through Jane Brady, one of our department heads, there is a senior job fair that will be coming up on Thursday, October 23. We now deviate from the regular order of business for the purpose of conducting one public hearing. Madam Clerk.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on September 22, 2008. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held September 18, 2008.
Clerk will read ordinance number 378 by title only.
Bond ordinance providing for a ball field for children with special needs and comfort stations at Heavenly Farms in the Township of East Brunswick, by and in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending bond ordinance numbers 290, 296, 307, 318, 324, 332, and 353, each respectively heretofore finally adopted by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the county, to reappropriate appropriations, authorizations, including excess bond proceeds, and down payments set forth in each of said bond ordinances to the improvements set forth in this bond ordinance, reappropriating appropriations in the amount of $1,500,000 therefore, and reappropriating authorizations of bonds or notes in the amount of $1,428,566, including excess bond proceeds in the amount of $167,073 of the county to finance part of the cost thereof, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, October 2, 2008 at 7 p.m. and authorizing publication thereof.
I want to say that many things are done by county government and governmental units, but what we are in the process of doing on this matter is certainly a plus for county government. It's something that's very much needed in our county, and a real plus to East Brunswick Township, and we commend them one and all for participating with us on this. I declare the public hearing open. Does anyone wish to speak on this ordinance? Yes, sir. No?
He changed his mind.
Okay.
I thought you spoke about anything, but it's only
No, this on this ordinance. Anyone speak? Any questions?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Deputy Freeholder Director Delina, seconded by Freeholder Rafano, that the public hearing be closed. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The motion is in order to adopt ordinance 378 on final reading.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved by Delina, seconded by Rufano. Any discussion? Clerk will please call the roll.
Freeholder Delina?
Yes.
Freeholder Fronicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rufano?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Krabiel?
Aye. Declare the motion passed and the ordinance adopted on final reading. And that's a plus for people with children with disabilities, that they're going to have a place right in central part of our county to participate in the sports program. Motion to resume the regular order of business.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Been moved by Delina, seconded by Valenti. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Proclamations, commemorative resolutions, and correspondence. Madam Clerk.
We have one proclamation this evening recognizing October 2008 as National Disability Awareness Month in Middlesex County.
Second.
Freeholder Valenti will make a presentation.
Across America, individuals with disabilities are making important contributions in the workplace. And this month, we celebrate their accomplishments and reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that the opportunities of America are available and accessible to every citizen. 15 years ago, President George H.W. Bush signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, ADA, reducing barriers for millions of Americans with disabilities and providing a mandate for the elimination of the discrimination in the workplace and in the community. Since the ADA was enacted, people with disabilities have been able to participate more fully in the workforce, and our nation has become stronger and more just. To recognize the contributions of Americans with disabilities and to encourage all citizens to ensure equal opportunity in the workforce, the Congress, by joint resolution, approved this amendment, has designated October of each year as National Disability Employment Awareness Month. The Middlesex County Department of Human Services, through the Office for the Disabled, offers assistance to persons with disabilities with information and referral, assistance with ADA compliance. We have Project Lifesaver, the Barrier-Free Assistance Grant, and the Personal Assistance Service Program. This evening, a member of the committee of the PASP, or the Personal Assistance Service Program, will be receiving this resolution proclaimed by our county. And Mr. John Figg, a member of that committee, will receive this. And we want to point out that we also have our Commission of Disabilities. They are here, a number of them, and Debbie Herr from our department, and Judy Cusubano from the Office of Disabled. Anita Clavering, how are you? Hi, John. Congratulations. I just want to read a little bit of this. It's very long. Whereas Middlesex County continues to provide information, assistance, programs, and services to persons with disabilities and their families. Our ongoing work to guarantee compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act serves to reinforce our awareness that continued efforts are required in order to fully ensure that all people with disabilities may use their legal rights as they strive to achieve their full potential. Therefore, I, David B. Krabiel, our Director of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, do hereby proclaim October 2008 as National Disability Awareness Month in Middlesex County, and we call upon the citizens of Middlesex County to recognize the vital contribution of people with disabilities and to reaffirm our continuing commitment to equal opportunity for all citizens of Middlesex County, dated today, October 2nd, 2008, and signed by Margaret Pemberton, our Clerk of the Board, as well as our Freeholder Director, David B. Krabiel. Congratulations. You know how to get this out?
Come up here, John. Sure. I just want to thank you all on the Board of Chosen Freeholders. And we all, those of us in the disability community, really know how much you've supported us throughout the years, besides just making this proclamation. And we really do have a very active disability community in Middlesex County. There are people involved in every level of government, residents of Middlesex County who are disabled, from the state to the county to the local level, and various occupations, the private sector, and positions with nonprofit organizations, and certainly in all aspects of the civic and social fabric of the community. And a lot of that has to do with what you have done for us, and definitely the departments that are in the county, the Department of Human Services, which really, it gives us tremendous support in everything we do. And I really want to thank you as a chairman of one of the councils for the special recognition of the council members who really dedicate their time and all their effort and their hard work to serving on these councils. And, you know, for someone who's disabled, time really is a very precious thing. You know, it takes, sometimes it can take you 2 hours just to get up and get breakfast. That's before you even get out to get into work, or, you know, an hour to get to bed and a half hour just to get somewhere. So for people to volunteer to spend their time on these committees and commissions, it's very, you know, it's very important. The reason they do it, because they know they have an impact. And it's really, they have an impact because of the support of the Department of Human Services, because of your support. And I know, you know, we're all from Middlesex County, and everybody likes to say it's the best county and things, but I have to tell you, I'm on state commissions and some other councils, and this county is like a model county for a lot of those people. I talk to people, and jealousy is one word that has to come up because of the things that we have here, and the cooperation that the disability community gets from the department and from you all, and the synergy that it works together. You know, we're always taken seriously. We're asked for input. The input is taken, and then it's acted upon, and they bring it to you, and of course, you all act on it accordingly. So I really want to thank you all for this proclamation and for really everything you do throughout the year. Come on, get these. These are the people that do all the work, so you better get them in the picture.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
B. Harry and Judy Cosimano, and we're here also. Let's hear it for these folks. Big public service. Madam Clerk, I believe there's 3 resolutions.
We have several resolutions tonight. The first is recognizing Samuel Chiaravalli on the occasion of his 100th birthday. Next is recognizing Frank J. Zaremba, Ph.D., on the occasion of his retirement. Next is recognizing the 2008 recipients of the following awards as named by the Woodbridge Metro Chamber of Commerce. Citizen of the Year, John E. Hogan of Willents, Goldman and Spitzer. Corporate Citizen of the Year, CME Associates. Member of the Year, Jim Law of Conica Minolta. Small Business Person of the Year goes to Joseph and Dominic Fedek of Il Castello's Italian Restaurant. The William E. Short Award will be presented to Father William Smith of St. Anthony of Padua Church. The Frank G. Pelsman Community Service Award will be given to Trish Menendez of the Club at Woodbridge.
I might just comment that Father Smith was here earlier. We didn't tell him that he was going to be honored, but I believe
I think he knows.
Carl Spataro is going to present the award or at that dinner because it's the night of a freeholder meeting. But these certainly are well deserved. And I learned not too long ago that this John Hogan is an attorney with the Willents firm, there's another John Hogan that's chairman of our TCC, same name. But, so we commend all these one and all. And of course, this Castello's Italian restaurant, Delina eats there 7 nights a week, so.
As long as you give me the money, I'll eat there anytime.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Oh, you got more you want to read these off?
There's a few more. The next is recognizing the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey on the occasion of their 18th annual convention and expo, and recognizing October 13th through 19th as Hispanic Business Week in Middlesex County. Next is recognizing Michael J. Nissenblatt, MD, as he has been named the 2008 recipient of the President's Award of Excellence by Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Next is recognizing Deborah Anderson, as she has been named the 2008 recipient of the President's Award of Inspiration by Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. And last is recognizing the following county employees on the occasion of their retirement from the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office: Chief Donald L. Macy, Lieutenant Donald Blount, Lieutenant Dave Jakubik, Lieutenant John Salerno, Officer Tom Petosha, and Officer Ken Sullivan.
Is there a motion? Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved by Deputy Freeholder Director Delina, seconded by Freeholder Valenti. Any discussion? Clerk will please call the roll.
Freeholder Delina?
Yes.
Freeholder Fernicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rafano?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Craybill?
Aye. Declare the resolution is duly adopted. And I might say that Sam Chiavelli has served for many years from Somerset County, from Bound Brook, on the Utilities Authority. He's the representative from Somerset County on our sewage authority. Certainly a delightful person. And I'd like to ask now that I believe Freeholder Polis will make a presentation to Frank Ziamba.
Ziamba, yeah.
I'd like to ask Freeholder Rios to join me as well. He's the chairman who oversees our vocational and technical high school. I'd like to ask Frank to join me, please.
I don't know how somebody 29 years of age can retire, but thank you. Somehow you're doing it.
Well, he's retiring from a position, and I'm pleased to say that he's not retiring from his position as a teacher at our VOTEC, so that's a good thing. But for those of you who don't know Frank Zaremba, he has been involved as an educator for many years. He's a educated here in Middlesex County, Rutgers graduate, master's and doctorate in history. He knows quite a bit about history. I'm going to test him a little bit later on some of that, but we've been proud to have him as an instructor at our VOTEC, and I'm going to let Freeholder Rios talk in a moment about the importance of our VOTEC system and people like Frank who provide such great education to the students of our county. But Frank's also has worn another hat for a number of years as president and vice president of the Middlesex County Education Association on a combined basis for 18 years, dating back to 1990. The County Education Association is the county element, if you will, of the New Jersey Education Association. He is involved with the teachers and administrative type people, secretarial staff, custodial people from the school systems throughout Middlesex County. Now, it's a difficult position to maintain for that long a period of time. I'm sure you can understand that there is a lot of issues going on, union issues and other things that have to be dealt with by an education association. I think it's a testament to Frank's ability and capability to have been second in command and first in command of that organization for so many years with such great support from all the rank and file. So congratulations to him for those years of service. But I want to just make one other comment. In addition to that role, in addition to his role as an educator, he went beyond that. We worked together, Freeholder Rafano and I, as co-chairs of the Middlesex County Task Force on School Violence going back a number of years ago, reached out to Frank. And again, this was long before discussions about school violence were really in the public domain. And Frank stepped up to the plate, got the New Jersey Education Association involved, and very vocally, and again, this was something that was kind of new territory, uncharted waters for educators at that time, said our schools aren't safe and we need help. And we're glad that Middlesex County is stepping up to the plate. And he provided great resources and insight into what the needs of the schools were, provided us access to the New Jersey Education Association, and as a result of that, we created a document that became a model for the state. Recently, he was given an award by the director of the Division of Homeland Security for the state of New Jersey for his work as a charter member of that committee. But we also went to him with other ideas for other programs that were in the schools as well, and I probably presented 2 or 3 different programs to him, and he was always willing to step up to the plate and say, how can the educators and the teachers do more, and the staff, to make these programs a success. Those are the things you didn't hear about over the years, didn't know about, but you needed to hear and know about tonight because we're honoring him for his hard work and service. So I'd like to turn it over to Freeholder Rios to say a couple words about his involvement with our schools and then present this to Frank. Freeholder?
Thank you. It really gives me great pleasure to be here and be part of this. Being the chairman of the County Health and Education Committee and being involved with the VOCTEC and educators not just in the classroom, and to be a good educator and to be concerned and have compassion and have the children at heart. And Frank exemplifies that in an educator. Like I said, it's not just the classroom, it's being involved in a lot of things. And Frank, I don't know how you had time to go home and do things at home. But in any event, it really gives me pleasure to be part of this day here with you and congratulate you on your hard work and dedication that you have given to the citizens and the children of Middlesex County. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much. Frank, I'm going to present this to you. Freeholder, on behalf of Middlesex County, we've kind of summed up pretty much what's in the resolution. We congratulate you for your years of service as president of the Education Association.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you for it.
Absolutely. I guess do you want to? Did you like to take a photo? You're certainly more than welcome to. No,
my official photographer.
There you go.
Prove I got the plaque.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you. Very briefly, the season's changing and I've got the cough and cold already. I wish to thank Freeholder Polos and the members of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders for this public acknowledgement of my career and service to public education and my association. The members of the Middlesex County Education Association have always worked to promote public education, believing that public education is the foundation of our democracy and our whole way of life. At this time, I would be remiss if I failed to acknowledge the role that Director Craybill and the members of the Board of Freeholders have always played in supporting public education, as is amply demonstrated by Middlesex County College and Middlesex County Vocational and Technical Schools, where I proudly work, institutions that continually deal with the ever-changing career needs of our county. Finally, I would simply add that helping one's fellow human beings by enlightening them, be it students or members, is teaching's greatest reward. But a plaque is a nice thing, too. Thank you.
Frank, come over, I want to shake your hand. He's my neighbor.
Oh, God, help you.
Okay.
Good seeing you, Frank. Thanks for coming.
Congratulations, Frank.
Congratulations, Frank.
That's
Nice
what we
to
got.
see you.
Clerk, correspondence?
We have notices of public hearings from the Public Service Electric Gas Company to their customers. The first is notice of filing and public hearing for proposed demand response program and associated cost recovery mechanism, and the second relates to the proposed carbon abatement program and associated cost recovery mechanism. Both public hearings will be held on October 15th at 6:30 in this meeting room, October 20th at 6:30 in the Bergen County Administration Building, and October 23rd at 6:30 in the Burlington County Administration Building. Have a letter from the State of New Jersey Department of Transportation indicating that the traffic regulation for bus stops on Route 35 in Woodbridge Township was approved by the Commissioner of Transportation on July 28th. A resolution from the Somerset County Board of Freeholders opposing mental health program changes in cost share between the state and counties and urging Governor Corzine and the state legislature to restore funding for psychiatric hospital expenses. A resolution from the Sussex County Board of Freeholders supporting Senate Bill 1845 concerning threats to police canine units and amending Public Law 1983, Chapter 261. A resolution from the Union County Board of Freeholders approving the development of an emergency courthouse operation plan in cooperation with Middlesex County and the Middlesex vicinage. A resolution from the Township of Edison supporting Assemblyman Peter Barnes' Assembly Bill 3072, creating the Dismal Swamp Preservation Commission. A letter from North Brunswick Mayor Francis Womack, addressed to Director Crabiel. It reads as follows. The Township of North Brunswick was pleased to learn that the NJ Department of Transportation has awarded a $3 million grant to Middlesex County toward the study of a Route 1 and 130 connection near Finnegan's Lane. Your letter of August 1, 2008 affirms that the study will include an analysis of a connection between this point and the proposed North Brunswick Transit Village on Route 1. Your support of the Transit Village concept has been greatly appreciated and acknowledges the consensus that a new state-of-the-art rail transit station on Route 1 would significantly benefit residents from throughout Middlesex County by facilitating the use of mass transit as an alternative to driving. We have since learned from a subsequent meeting between the principals of North Brunswick TOD Associates, LLC, and the NJDOT that Commissioner Chris Calori is amenable to allowing Middlesex County to appropriate $300,000 from the grant to the Township of North Brunswick to support elements of our land use review process, including planning, traffic, and real estate analysis. The Township has identified consultants to support this process and is anxious to move forward. Your approval of this appropriation is valued and would provide us with a significant opportunity to advance the Transit Village proposal. I trust the details of this partnership can be managed by our respective staffs, with Director of Community Development Michael Ritz as our primary contact. Thank you for your consideration of this request and once again your ongoing support. This letter will be referred to County Engineer John Reiser. We also have a letter from Woodbridge Chief of Police William Trenery indicating that the police department is in need of a training center and has been advised that Warren Park, the old Park Police facility, might be a possible site. Their needs include various training activities, and they would like to have a permanent building where most activities can be performed. Due to the mandatory training requirements, they need a building for approximately 35 to 40 weeks annually. This letter will be referred to County Administrator John Palomina. We have the minutes of the Board of Education of the Vocational Schools in Middlesex County meeting of August 13th. Minutes of the Middlesex County Mosquito Extermination Commission meeting held August 20th. Minutes of the Board of Trustees of Middlesex County College meeting held August 27th. And a letter from Chairman Alan Danzer of the Middlesex County Agriculture Development Board, which was sent to all senators and assembly members in the district serving Middlesex County, indicating their concern of Senate Bill number 1538 and Assembly Bill 2859, which would authorize the generation and sale of solar and wind energy on preserved farms, thus defining energy as an agricultural product and an activity protected under the Right to Farm Act. Mr. Danzer is contacting the legislators to express the board's opposition to these bills. A resolution from the Middlesex County Transportation Coordinating Committee in remembrance of one of their longtime charter and active members, Robert Mahler, who was the representative from the Township of East Brunswick. That's it for the regular correspondence.
I believe that a motion would be in order that the correspondence be received and contents noted by various officials, and also that the letter involving North Brunswick Township that be referred to the County Engineer John Reiser, and the letter from Woodbridge involving PBA that be referred to the County Administrator John Palomina.
Yes.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved by Deputy Freeholder Director Delina, seconded by Freeholder Rios. Any discussion? Clerk will please call the roll.
Freeholder Delina?
Yes.
Freeholder Fronicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rafano?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Crabiel?
Aye. Declare the motion passed.
And we have one request, a letter from Woodbridge Mayor John McCormick that I'll paraphrase. In the past, the township had received preliminary approval for a grant for renovating a building for the Woodbridge History Museum, but that project has been delayed and the funding will not be necessary for months. In its place, the township would like to request
It's the senior building.
a $350,000 county open space grant to renovate the Evergreen Senior Center into a community center to be used not only by seniors, but also by our youth and families. The funds would cover changes to the building infrastructure, including plumbing, electric, carpentry, painting, etc., as well as the equipment needed to furnish the center, such as exercise and weight equipment, recreational equipment, furnishings for common areas, etc.
Mayor McCormick talked to me on this. I would believe that it should be referred to Ralph Albanere for a report back to the freeholders at a later meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved by Deputy Freeholder Director Molina, seconded by Freeholder Rapano. Any discussion? Clerk will please call.
Freeholder Delina?
Yes.
Freeholder Fronicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rafano?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Krabiel?
Aye. Declare the motion passed.
That's all.
Resolutions to be amended. Mr. Kelso?
There are none.
Resolutions to be added.
There are none.
Resolutions to be held.
There are none.
Resolutions to be voided.
There are none.
Hey, you're doing good. Public discussion on resolutions listed on the agenda. Does anyone wish to speak or have a question on any resolution that is on this agenda? And there is a 10-minute rule. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening, John Rookie Sayreville. I have a question, page 3 of your agenda, Resolution 08-1710, relating to a contract with Hestech LLC. Two questions, and I'm asking these questions keeping in mind, Mr. Director, your earlier comments, basically reminding us what dire financial problems we're going through now at all levels, whether it's local, county, state, or the federal level. With that in mind, my questions are these two. Number one, how can you justify within 1 year increasing an amount to this county vendor of 40%? 40% increase in a contractual amount by any standard seems like a tremendous amount of increase in one calendar or one contract year. We are talking, based on your own numbers, about, we're talking 40%, a little less than 40%. Second question, anticipating that, with that in mind, rather than expose the taxpayers in the county to such a dramatic increase, why were not these services put out to bid again?
Well, just wait a minute. We'll answer the question. The first one involves a grant, doesn't it? No?
They're both related to the same resolution. I've been requested by Rich Hills, who's the department head, to increase this contract by 20% for the second year of the contract, which the county had as an option, which was included in the first award when we awarded this, and it was publicly bid. The reason for the increase is due to the amount of service that he's providing, that he's going to need that for the participation.
Freeholder Director. Rich Hills isn't here tonight, but we do receive federal grants and state grants for our recycling program, and the consumer electronics recycling program has become extremely popular, and they are taking in quite a bit of product from the recycling, the people in the county that recycle. So they are definitely holding their own on that, in that regard. And we did go to bid. And Hestech has been very efficient in the way they handle the program.
Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes.
Anyone else have Any resolutions? Mr. Stewart?
Richard Stewart, 90 Nielsen Street, New Brunswick. Page 3. Could I get some clarification on 1708? This is a youth advocate program it's talking about. What is that?
1708?
1708.
Either Mr. Garber or Mrs. Valenti, whoever has some information about that.
I'm going to turn it over to Tom Salheimer.
This is a program that was put in place by BID. It's a detention alternative opportunity for youngsters who come into the juvenile justice system. It gives an opportunity to be involved in a community-based program as opposed to being sent to the juvenile justice system.
I'm not sure that explains enough what I'm trying to find out.
Rich, I have the details of the program in the proposal solicitation and agreement, which I have in my office. And I can furnish that to you with all of the detail on what the program is going to be provided to the family.
Thank you. That I'll check with you on that then. Page 5. Number 1729. We're retaining an attorney. I'm used to reading these in New Brunswick. I don't think that a council meeting goes by that we don't have 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure why, but this is a matter of the...
What is your question, sir?
What is the explanation on this one? That's question 1. And question number 2 is, maybe I've missed them when they've been appearing before. Do we have very many of these occurring on the county?
Well, to answer your second question first, I would think in my experience, an average of maybe 1 or 2 a year. That's about it. And usually what these involve, and in this particular case involves a civil complaint against a sheriff's officer during a transportation of an inmate, which under the collective bargaining agreement, they're entitled to representation to defend those civil charges. And I know you're familiar with it from what you see in New Brunswick. It's the same kind of complaint that you see. It just in this case, it's a sheriff's officer.
Yeah, that's why it missed, because that's what surprised me. I wasn't aware that we were having. That's good news that we don't have that many complaints on that. Thank you.
In New Brunswick,
Wait a minute.
usually they represent the policemen who are accused of whatever. Always like to have Mr. Bitterman represent them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they appear.
Well, I'm not aiming particularly, though I'm familiar with Mr. Bitterman's name on them, but it's just that, unfortunately, I'm going to try to get some figures on the New Brunswick, because I don't know how much we're spending on defending police, and whether there is some explanation for why we have so many complaints over there. Thank God we don't have county complaints.
We have that you can get that from our city attorney, Mr. Hamilton.
No, I think that what it is, it's Mr. Spacuzzo has a better hand on the job. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any resolution?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Deputy Freeholder Director Delina, seconded by Freeholder Rapano, that the public portion of the resolution be closed. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request of freeholders to remove any resolutions from the consent agenda and vote on separately. If not, then Mr. Kelso, you want to give us the potential motion?
Very simply, the motion is in order to accept the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 08-1695 through 08-1763.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Delina, seconded by Valenti. Any discussion?
He doesn't look at the
Clerk will
file.
please call the roll.
Freeholder Delina?
Yes.
Freeholder Fronicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rufano?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Craybill?
I declare the consent agenda resolution duly adopted. And now the privilege of the floor to anyone if has anything to bring to the attention of the freeholders or any question. There is a 10-minute rule. Yes, sir.
It's not anything, right, sir?
Yeah, you can talk about anything. After 10 minutes, we'll cut you off.
Richard Paul Zuckerman at 255 Seaman Street, New Brunswick, New Jersey. I would like your support for eradicating mercury from our mouths and from our environment. There's a bill in the State Senate, 1187, from Ronald Rice, which would require a study on the health and environmental implications of the mercury amalgam dental fillings, since a few months ago, the Food and Drug Administration finally concedes, they finally settled out of court as a stipulation, out of court settlement. They now stipulate that mercury amalgam dental fillings may be dangerous to pregnant women and children. Now, my dentist, I go to the Veterans Administration, East Orange, and they're American Dental Association doctors, and they say whatever the ADA says goes. So they endorse mercury amalgam dental fillings, and he tells me, no, he told me it does not leak. It's bound with the other metals, and it does not leak out of your molars. The mercury does not leak out of the molars. And that's just a fraud by the cosmetic dentists, so we can make money on the so they can make money on the alternative fillings in cosmetic dentistry. Well, now we know this is inferentially they're admitting that it does leak out of the molars, and I think something needs to be done about the mercury amalgam dental fillings, especially since dentist offices are a major contributor to environmental contamination of mercury. And if I have this H.R. 2101, which was sponsored by Congresswoman Diane Watson in Los Angeles, I want to give you people in hopes that you'll read it, the congressional findings about the environmental implications of the mercury. Now, you've heard about the arsenic got in our drinking water now, might cause diabetes, whatever. You heard about that a few weeks ago, and the problems with drinking water. Mercury gets in there. So I want to pass these. I'd like you to please keep these, make copies, whatever. That's the mercury matter. I'd ask you to support Senate 1187 of Ronald Rice and ask people to contact him. Now, the gentleman who received the award for the education, it's nothing personal, but I believe the public school system is a total waste of money, because it takes 12 years what we can learn in half the time, and they don't even teach about the state constitution. Call the Rutgers University Center for State Constitutional Studies. They told me they did after a bicentennial videotape of the history of our state constitution, and they sent it to every school. The lady told me in the Center for State Constitutional Studies at Rutgers in Camden, Rutgers Law School in Camden. The lady said we sent it to all the schools. We never received one response. And the people I talked to, I asked these kids and the Rutgers students, they don't even know where the state constitution came out, right here at Rutgers, College Avenue, Rutgers, the gymnasium. And most of them, they don't know about the state constitution. Like, if you read Article 1, Paragraph 1, I believe Article 1, Paragraph 1 of our state constitution, Article 1 is called the rights and privileges. The state constitution have our individual rights at the beginning of the document. The Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution at the end of the document. They don't care about our individual rights in the federal. The states do, though, and there's a movement now. There's a movement to bring in all these illegal aliens, thousands of them, and they want to create a North American Union. And I don't like this immigration stuff with Obama, whose wife is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, and John McCain is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. They want to do this by 2010, the Council on Foreign Relations. They want to bring in these immigrants, and they want to create a North American Union combined with Mexico and Canada, one continent country. They're denying this. Now, I have a letter right here from a Congressman, Virgil Good, of a congressional resolution, House Congressional Resolution 40. The North American Union and the NAFTA superhighway system threaten the sovereignty of the United States. And he has maybe 50 congressmen joining it. But the problem is they're not teaching this in school. This is a danger to our sovereignty. They're not teaching the state constitution. They emphasize behavior in public schools. And what they did, what happened, the Office of Strategic Services and an experimental psychologist from Germany named William Wundt got together and they manipulated the curriculum in public schools so it emphasizes behavior, to be a good global citizen, instead of teaching the dark side of government, that the Bush family financed Adolf Hitler. And we need to tell these people Obama was part of the cause of this foreclosure problem, that we need this bailout. Why are you voting for this guy? They want change, right? But they're not teaching them the dark side of government in public schools. They need to be told about our state constitution. Article 1, paragraph 1. You can read a right to keep and bear arms in there. The right, all persons are by nature free and independent and have certain natural and unalienable rights, among which are those of enjoying and defending life and liberty, of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and of pursuing and obtaining safety and happiness. The right to pursue safety, the right to protect property. There's a right to keep and bear arms in there, but none of these state courts in New Jersey has ever addressed it. And this is a problem with our state courts. Pro se litigants like me, who look like a slob, run slovenly, but I have a diploma in paralegal, and I find cases for lawyers sometimes, and they tend to give me judgment order decisions. In fact, I have an appeal now against Highland Park cops. They made up a story against me. And there was a case in 1953, 4-3 decision, state versus MAIER, said we should have a trial by jury municipal for a petty charge. Because the original intention of denying us a trial by jury on a petty charge was to replenish the exchequer with the most outdated prosecutions. They quote a legal treatise known as Paley on Summary Convictions and Dissenting Opinion. So we get these judges in municipal court who are hired by local politicians, and they're right next to the police station. They're cozy with the police. It's inherently structured to get municipal revenue through convictions, and it's a big problem. And now they're giving me problems because I have a conviction. They won't throw it out, and they're imposing Heck versus Humphrey on me. And there's already a case. There are cases in New Jersey, the law of the forum, that say that a municipal court conviction is inadmissible in any civil court, does not bar a lawsuit despite the conviction, because these are non-indictable convictions, and there's a rule of evidence, 803C22, says a municipal court conviction inadmissible. So to make a long story short, I want to give this to the gentleman for Highland Park. This is what I submitted on appeal. I'll give that to him. Recently, Congressman Tom Tancredo submitted a bill which would kick the United Nations out of our country. Well, I'd like that very much, because United Nations are not my friends. And this is part of this North American Union. They want to repeal our constitutional rights, state and federal, so we fall under United Nations law. And if you don't believe me, Google the words Project for a New American Century. George W. Bush signed it, and members of the Pentagon signed it at the beginning of his presidency, George Jr., George W. It's called Project for a New American Century. It's to inundate countries with immigrants, all different cultures, so that they can undermine the people. And they want to, I will give you an example. Around May 1st of this year, the CIA director warned a university in Virginia. He was giving a speech, and he warned them of the national security breaches from immigration. We have a problem because everybody endorses twice the annual influx of legal immigrants since 1960, Immigration Act of 1965. Illegal immigrants have been coming in here, too many of them, I think, and now the illegals are here, and they want to integrate them, and I don't agree with integrating them. They're costing us, the Federation for American Immigration Reform put out a report, Impact of Illegal Immigration upon New Jerseyites. They cost us $2.1 billion a year, just education. The education, health care, Muhlenberg Hospital, undocumented patients, Muhlenberg Hospital is going out of business because of that, and their incarceration. And we need to stop subsidizing illegal immigrants, and we should stop enforcing marijuana laws, because cannabis is a good medicine, and there's no lethal dose to it. It does not cause traffic accidents, and this is a mild herb that was in the U.S. pharmacopoeia, and they're spending millions of dollars, and while they're arresting us for smoking a joint once in a while, the CIA is laundering drug money through Wall Street. Billions of dollars, Citibank, Bank of America, they're notorious. They're notorious CIA drug money laundering banks. It's so corrupt.
We need to do something about it. We need to clean up our act of this facade of legitimacy. And we need to get the United Nations out of this. We're not doing any good with the United Nations. They're nobody. They're killers. They're child rapists. They're frauds, and they're just wasting our. They don't even pay their tickets. They don't pay their parking tickets. And I don't agree with this globalism movement some of you people endorse. It's nothing killing us. And that's part of the Project for a New American Century. Project for a New American Century. To reduce the world population. It's overpopulation for tyranny. Overpopulation for slavery. They did the same thing to create the European Union. And now everybody's being quiet. Like immigration's no problem. Like illegal immigration's no problem. It is a problem. And mercury's a problem. The marijuana laws.
Your time's up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to bring before the board? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Melanie. I'm program coordinator with Melanie Warab. Sorry, program coordinator with Edison Wetlands Association. I'm also the environmental education supervisor with the Triple C Ranch. I'm speaking on behalf of Bob Spiegel, who's the executive director for Edison Wetlands Association. We are looking to get a status update on the acquisition of the 3 properties in the Dismal Swamp. The 3 properties the county has voted to move forward with the acquisition are the Visco Tract in Edison, Adams Farm, and Quincy Place in South Plainfield. We've heard disturbing rumors that the county is not aggressively moving forward with this acquisition. This is very troubling in light of the fact that the Visco property, which is directly adjacent to the recently purchased 69-acre tract, is going before the town with an amended application. We are formally requesting, if the county cannot acquire with negotiation with the landowner, that they move forward with condemnation. The groups that support the Dismal Swamp acquisition are the Friends of the Dismal Swamp, New York, New Jersey Baykeeper, Edison Greenways, New Jersey Conservation Foundation, Sierra Club, as well as the Township of Edison, Senator Bono, and Assemblyman Barnes. In the next few weeks, we will be attending meetings with the members of the aforementioned groups to discuss further. We will also be starting a letter writing campaign to make sure this issue does not fall by the wayside. We are currently working with Assemblyman Barnes on State Bill 3072, which would establish a Dismal Swamp Preservation Commission to manage the long-term preservation of the Dismal Swamp. EWA is proposing an agreement of a 3-town resolution to encourage cooperative regional planning between Edison, the borough of Metuchen, and South Plainfield to ensure the preservation and enhancement of public access within the Dismal Swamp. The 1,000-acre Dismal Swamp Conservation Area is home to an estimated 175 species of birds, 25 mammals, and 24 amphibian and reptile species, including many endangered and threatened species. So you can see why we're concerned. Thank you.
That was fast.
The faster the better.
Yes, just to alleviate concerns, the rumors of that we are either dragging our feet or that we are not moving quick enough are erroneous, number one. You know, it's always challenging when you're dealing with 3 different owners of properties to do diligence on the property, number one, and obviously there's negotiations that are very sensitive going on with all 3 at the same time, and that we are working very aggressively but also very diligently to make sure that we're doing the due diligence on the property, number one. As you know, some property was at a point where they were considering putting some homes on, and obviously there's value issues there. So I can assure you that the county has not dropped the ball at all. We are pursuing it very aggressively, and we will keep you posted as we move forward on this.
Thank you.
Good.
John Rookie, Sayreville. If the board has not done it yet, I would heartily encourage you to go on record by way of adopting a resolution that basically would be against the recent proposed road toll increases proposed by the Highway Authority, Department of Transportation. A 150% increase, whether it happens over 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, is really unconscionable. It is well above the normal rate of inflation, and it's unaffordable. If you proceed with a resolution, I hope you do, I think you should duly note that the hearings that were held last week were totally devoid of any consideration of the public and a taxpayer to get to them and have the opportunity to speak out. As I understand it, 3 public hearings. The closest one in our area, I believe, was held in Woodbridge Township at approximately 10 o'clock in the morning or early in the afternoon. It almost seems that it was made purposely difficult for the taxpayer, the working man and woman, to get to those hearings to voice their concern. I duly hope that you go on record with a resolution taking those considerations and other considerations you might have in opposition to that proposed recent toll increase proposal. And any comments you might have on that relative to that would be welcome. Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to bring before the board?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, the public portion be closed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Motion is in order for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
Second, non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. This meeting is adjourned at 8:45 p.m.